station in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Hello, AM 950 listener. I know you. You take the news seriously. When you read the headlines these days, it makes you want to hang your head down and cry. Well, to hell with that. What you need is a laugh from the left. So, do yourself a favor. Listen to Facepalm America with host Beowulf Rockland every Sunday night at 9.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual. My name is Greg Bakken, and thank you very much for joining me today. Now, as you may or may not know, I am a big Doctor Who fan. I've been watching it since the 80s, and it's been a very big part of my life. I've met many of my friends through it. So those of you who are also fans of the series know that it's a pretty big day, and it's on BBC America tonight is the final story with Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. And I just wanted to let everyone know, and this isn't bragging, okay? But I just want to let everyone know that I did see it. I've seen the episode, and you are in for a treat tonight. Obviously, I'm not going to give away anything. I'm not going to spoil anything. But I will say, if you're looking forward to this, you will not be disappointed. From any era that you've watched the series, you will not be disappointed. So please watch it. And if you have a chance, reach out to me. Let me know what you think, because I love to hear what people think about that stuff. And also, I just want to say that I'm doing a live stream on Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time with my friend Mike and Diana, and we're doing a live stream discussing this episode of Doctor Who and taking in people's thoughts and stuff on it. And it's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on my From the Archive British television page, but also I think we're going to try to get it on the AM 950 Facebook page as well. So check that out. And if you have a chance, tune in, please. Now, as we get closer to Halloween, I thought I'd keep things a little light. Let's keep it light and fluffy. And I decided that we're going to be talking about exorcisms. Okay. All right. So maybe that's not quite as light as you would expect, but I feel that there is a lot of mystery and misconceptions around exorcisms, and I wanted to talk with somebody who's had firsthand experience. So Sister Kia Lynn Francis is a mystic with the Mexican National Catholic Church in Canada. She is a spiritual consultant for NESPR, which is Ed and Lorraine Warren's team, now run by Tony and Judy Spera. Remember, Tony's been on our show before. She works with Archbishop Plato Angelakis for exorcisms and intense house cleansings. She is a Reiki Master Plus, higher levels, working to be an ascended master, and does crystal work. A trained critical care nurse, certified personal trainer, and mom to a son that is also empathic. She has appeared on Into the Haunting and The Other Side, and is currently writing a book about the demonic haunting she lived through. She was a white witch before converting to the Independent Catholic Church. Sister Kia, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you very much. And I'd like to invite all of our listeners to join into the conversation. To do so, to ask a question to Sister Kia, you can call in at 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. Or you can email us a comment. The email address for the station is comment@am950radio.com. We are live on AM 950 Radio, but also streaming video on the following Facebook pages. You can watch us on AM 950, Things Network, MN Ghostbox, Free Spirited Network, RU Media, Skeleton Key Network, and Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. So please go there, support those pages, but also leave your comments. I'm going to be monitoring those pages throughout the entire show. So, I joke Sister Kia, about the fact that exorcism being a light topic, but in fact, there is absolutely nothing light about this topic at all, is there?
No, it's pretty serious business. And if it comes to the point that we're doing an exorcism, the person's in a lot of trouble. With an exorcism, it doesn't just start off like us going into the house and, the power of Christ compels you and flicking holy water. And
Mhm.
it's not like that at all. It's actually a quite long process to come to an actual exorcism, at least the way that we do it. People are interviewed. They have to have medical histories, psychiatric history clear. I mean, you can be possessed and still have a psychiatric history, but we do want these pre-screening things done. I usually will speak to them and try and get a bit of a read for them for what's going on, and they're aware of that. I don't read anyone that's not given me explicit consent. And we will provide, if we think there's a spiritual problem, we provide them with some tools to start working, like prayers and blessed salt and holy water and blessed oil, and let them be a part of the process, without us even being there, because we're in Canada. So it takes us a while to get, to certain places, and we're doing it on our own dime kind of thing. So remotely, we start helping people, and we'll have them, go around the house and put a holy oil on the door jambs and the sides of the door, and sprinkle some salt around and holy water, and give them prayers. Give them homework too. Some of the prayers, like we specifically send specific prayers for that case, and we want them to read it. For example, if there's a child that has diabolical interference or something like that, then a mother's prayers are very, very, very strong. So we would have the mother saying a prayer for her child every night, if not twice a day, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So there is a lot of prep work to it. And then the actual exorcisms themselves are very unpredictable, because everybody is different. Every, demon is different, and how it's going to react, whether you call it demon or low vibrational energy, or, whatever it is you choose to call it. It's different. So some people are very quiet during the exorcism. Other people are very violent and have to be restrained. Plato had Father Plato had a case that it was an elderly woman, so not very hardy or robust, but had to have restraints, and broke her own arm to get out of the restraints. And then chased him around with an 8-inch butcher knife. They had to call the police. So things go sideways.
I'm sorry to interrupt with that, but what does the calling the police do? Is that just for restraint? Because because you're not acting as if there's necessarily a crime taking place, because that potentially would be whatever entity is inside her. Or am I completely off there?
Well, I think they wanted more. I can't speak for Plato, but they probably wanted to just have a police report, like for their own legalities. You know what I mean? The fact that she came at them and nothing happened. She wasn't arrested or anything.
Yeah.
I think they were just concerned for their safety, because she threw 4 grown men like they were tissue paper. So I think it was more of just, having some restraint there, extra muscle kind of thing, call it that.
Now, when you had mentioned that you read the person, and I get that it was with their consent and whatnot, and is that dangerous when they're in that state, that you're reading them, that you're trying to pick up something from them?
I don't think it's dangerous. I mean, that's what I do, right?
Yeah, no.
So, I don't really think it's dangerous. You know what you're dealing with a little bit better. Actually, it's kind of helpful to our situation if I have a better understanding of what's going on, or if in fact, because not everybody tells the truth, right? So if they're lying to me, then I might get that impression, just get flashes of things that go through my head, like, this person is not being compliant, they're lying about this, that, and the other thing. And I can sometimes isolate, how many demons are in them and which one is responsible for which behaviors, and just different things like that. So it's just kind of part of the pre-screening, I guess, that I'm just kind of like a lie detector. Not that everyone's lying, because we do believe people. That's the thing. A lot of people come to us and they're like, thank God someone's actually listening. And I'm like, absolutely, this stuff happens. I lived with it before I even got into the paranormal. Like you mentioned in the intro, I lived in a demonically infested house, and that was, and I was on my own for that. Had no idea what to do or who to call or anything like that. So I do share people's frustrations and understand why they're so upset, because if you have something going on, especially when family members are involved and you feel like you can't protect them, it's a pretty, helpless feeling to have. And if there's something there bigger than yourself, instigating things, then we try and help as best we can. That's why we start the procedure remotely, so it can start from day one, that they've made that commitment. They don't have to be Catholic to have us work with them, as long as they believe in God or a higher power. But like an atheist can't really come up to me and say, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in the devil, but I want you to come in and clean, like to do an exorcism on the house. Well, how is that going to help if you have no faith based in what we're doing, right?
I don't understand how that could even work, right? Because it's like that. How could they even believe in any of that to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. So it's amazing, though, the amount of people that will come running when they can't get rid of something that they've perhaps encouraged or invited into their life, and now they're stuck with it and they don't know who to go to get rid of it. But yeah, but you do get atheists that all of a sudden everybody's Catholic when there's a demon involved, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And, we have about 30 seconds before we go off to break here. When you had said that, making sure that people are telling the truth, is that something that whatever's inside the people you're trying to help might try to divert the truth?
It might, but you know what? As a general rule, a lot of the time it's the people that aren't doing their homework and they're claiming to do it. Because we give them a lot of prayers to say there's like work involved.
Yeah, because they have to help themselves to be able to help themselves, right? It can't all just be on you or whomever is doing this.
Exactly. Like we help to restore the person's free will, which they have lost or given up some way. But they have to be a part of that, and they have to want it back themselves, and they have to work for it.
No, absolutely. Why don't we do this? Let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Sister Kia Lynn Francis about exorcisms. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hi, my name is Pamela Topchian. I'm a former nurse, published author, and board-certified hypnotherapist with hypnobreakthrough.com. Do you feel stuck in a rut? Finding yourself wondering if this is all there is to life? Tired of just existing? Hypno Breakthrough can help you to reduce stress, release fears, gain confidence, and reach your life's goals holistically, mindfully, and gently. So I ask you, what changes would you like to see in your life? Let's talk about it. Contact me, Pamela Topchian, board-certified hypnotherapist, to schedule your free consultation, which includes a complimentary stress-reducing sample session, so you can see how it feels for yourself before any commitments are made. Go to hypnobreakthrough.com for all the information. That's hypnobreakthrough.com.
Metaphysical means different things to different people, and the friendly and knowledgeable staff at Enchanted Boutique in Maplewood will assist you through your journey. You'll be welcomed with positive energy and amazed at the large selection and variety of crystals, locally crafted products, books, and so many other metaphysical supplies. Visit Enchanted Boutique's brand new expanded location in Maplewood at 1860 Beam Avenue across from Maplewood Mall. Everyone at Enchanted Boutique is ready to assist with your personal spiritual journey.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
Hi, I'm Claire Ferreira, president and owner of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Ever since my grandfather founded Standard over 90 years ago, word-of-mouth advertising and referrals from our customers have always been important. That's why, after serving over 500,000 customers, we're proud to have a 4.9-star average rating out of 5 on our online reviews. Check them out for yourself and find out more at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
Hi, folks. This is Kirk Bankstad from the Minocqua Brewing Company, and I sell Choice Hard Seltzer. Choice is an all-natural, 105-calorie grapefruit-flavored hard seltzer for those who believe that a woman's reproductive decisions should remain a private matter between her and her doctor. When you purchase Choice Hard Seltzer, 5% of the proceeds go to support reproductive rights organizations in Minnesota.
Drink progressively with Minocqua Brewing. Get Choice Hard Seltzer at Zips Liquors on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis and Top 10 Liquors in Chanhassen. Find other Twin Cities locations at MinocquaBrewingCompany.com.
Are you dreading Monday, hating life, and living for the weekends? It might be time for some life changes. Pamela Topjian is a board-certified hypnotherapist at hypnobreakthrough.com, and she can help. Consultations, well, they're always free, and you'll also receive a complimentary sample session to try out. If you haven't done so already, I really suggest that you try it because you will not be disappointed. Get in touch on hypnobreakthrough.com or send a message on social media, hypnobreakthrough or Pamela Marie Topjian, and she's going to be able to help you. She's going to be able to listen, and even just listening is a great first start. So please go and check it out. And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio and AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken, and thank you for joining us. Our guest today is Sister Kia Lynn Francis, and we're talking about exorcisms. And I know this is a subject that I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about, and that includes me. If you have any questions for Sister Kia, please call in 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. And also remember, we're streaming on a lot of Facebook pages, and I'm monitoring those. So if you have a question, you can go ahead, put your question in there as well. Sister Kia, as I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about thinking about misconceptions, I'm glad I have you on today because I feel like that some of my questions might be a little laughable because my real look at anything to do with exorcisms is from the movies. Are there some things that are just really that you've run into that are huge misconceptions about what we think about exorcisms?
Well, nobody's head is going to do a 360. That's for sure.
And that bums me out. I'm just going to be honest. That bums me out.
But you know what? A lot of what happened in that particular movie could happen. But not the people will vomit, people will spit, people will lose consciousness. Their eyes will change. That's a big one. And it's not just to black. Sometimes like I've seen eyes that turned like ice blue. But it was the entire eye. There was no iris, no pupil.
Goodness.
I've seen eyes that look serpentine, and instead, like the pupils have stretched right out, and it looks like you're looking into the eye of a snake. Unbelievable strength. Some people will get it. Some people kind of stay placid, or very sad during the exorcism. Mm-hmm. It's a really big gamut, and everybody's different on how they're going to react. I mean, I can remember one, and the person was incredibly calm, but they looked at Father Plato and said, "I want to stab you with that crucifix." And they meant it. Like, they really meant it, but they were calm and they were not violent throughout it, but it was expressed to him,
Yeah.
Like, I just want to stab. I think his answer was, well, so does my wife, like, whatever. He's like, you think that scares me? Forget about it.
Right. There's someone at home that scares me more. No.
That's it.
And that's just it. I mean, it's like the idea of any sort of physical transformation. I mean, I guess that's, I don't know how I'm going to say this that makes sense, but I mean, yeah, that outside transformation, that's the obvious, right? But it's that inside transformation, that internal battle, that's what's really important, isn't it?
yeah, that's getting your free will back. And, you know, it's really important. And it's also really important for the person that's been exercised to keep up with the praying, going to church. You know, they're always going to be susceptible for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to be diligent, and they need to spiritually, you know, before the exorcism, like obviously something wasn't working. So like, let's change that and flip that switch and have it be positive. And so once a person has an exorcism, yeah, we encourage them to keep going with your prayers, pray as a family, you know, go to church, and read the Bible, have a Bible out, have a blessed crucifix in the house. You know, once in a while, bless your house, to do all those things. So there's stuff that they have to do as follow-up really for the rest of their lives, because they don't want to welcome it back, you know?
And that's an interesting question, because I reference this book quite a bit. It stuck with me, a book called The Holy Water Incident, where the author, his daughter had gone through a possession, and he believes it came through Ouija board, and it took her over, and it took a very long time for that to be exorcised. And it was very clear from his point of view, that once again, yes, she's always susceptible for it. But what also became clear, that her quality of life, her ability to fit in again with society, seemed to be a challenge, that things did not come easy. There was, alcoholism, there was job loss, there was a lot of different things. Is that something that you ever find amongst the people that you've helped, giving them an exorcism, and what happened after they were clear from any sort of demonic possession?
Different things in different cases. A lot of times people have been carrying around that negative energy for so long that once it's removed, they feel like they are not whole anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're taking something bad out of them, and they miss that feeling of having something there. So that's where I use my Reiki, is after an exorcism, I will treat whoever had the exorcism plus everyone in their house if they want it. It's not forced on them.
Yeah.
But I like to put positive energy back into where the negative energy came from. But for the most part, I'm thinking of a couple of ladies that we helped. Everything's going great in their lives right now. Very happy about it. I'm thinking of another lady who's not so happy, and, probably suffers from depression. And so I wouldn't consider her a success story. Not everybody's going to be cleansed the first time. A lot of times, though, they are. Like, we're pretty thorough with what we're doing. So we have our own little way of doing things that seems to be quite effective.
But there's level of successes, right? I mean, because if you can get rid of that demon, I mean, that's a huge success, right?
Yeah, if clear it from the person, clear it from the house, make sure it's not hiding. We make sure that we kind of trap it. We start from the outside and work in, so it's got nowhere to go.
Sure.
And even the animals in the house, like I'll put holy oil on the animals, just because we don't want to have the demon jump into another living vessel and then jump back into the person once we leave. Like, haha, I got you.
Well, I mean,
I've anointed like a hamster before.
Well, it's a fair point, Sister Kia, because I have a cat named Linus, and I am fairly convinced that he is actually doing the work of Satan. So I do, he tries to trip me down the stairs every day. And I'm not kidding, but I also know he's not. But I'll be honest, I did anoint him with holy water once. I had to. I just felt like, God, what is wrong with this thing? So I had to do something with that. And I know I'm half joking and half kind of serious about that one. But it's interesting to know that it can jump around. And there's a lot of questions that I have, and there's some questions online too. I think what I'm going to do, Sister Kia, is I think I'm going to save those for the third break, because I just want to kind of have a clean start, and it's going to build upon what you were just talking about. So why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Sister Kia Lynn Francis. We're going to be talking about exorcisms, and it's quite the conversation, and you can join in too. You're listening to Ghost Box Radio on AM 950.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Hi, Alex of Better Futures Minnesota. Does your business or organization need janitorial services, lawn care, or snow services? Obtain a free, no-obligation estimate from Better Futures Minnesota when you mention that you heard about us on AM 950. Our supervised, hardworking, and affordable crews will handle your interior and exterior building and property maintenance needs while you help men in your community transform their lives and walk on a positive path to success. It's a win-win. To learn more, go to betterfuturesminnesota.com under Business Services.
Habitation presents a radio drama. To buy or not to buy, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to compromise and live with a sectional that doth not fit my space, or to take up arms against a sea of mediocrity, and by opposing it, to rest, to be comfortable, to enjoy the space that is my home. Hi, this is Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Design and host of Drink in the Style. I'd like to personally invite you to our new showroom located in the District at Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South. Habitation, put some drama into your interior design.
Hey, it's Patrick. Football season is building up, and so is the nastiness in your carpets and air ducts. It's time to call Zero Res and beat the holiday rush. Every surface Zero Res does is specifically designed to preserve and maximize the life of your investments in your home. But also ask yourself before you turn on your furnace, do you know how much built-up dirt, dander, and other allergens are hiding in your air duct system? With Zero Res this month, the more you buy, the more you save. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 or 5 rooms starting at $199. That's a 43% savings. Book now to get the best carpet cleaning deal of the season. And don't forget about your air ducts. Help your furnace perform its best this winter by removing all the nasty dirt, dander, and harmful debris from your HVAC system. Plus, Zero Res will give you $75 off any air duct cleaning package. Call 952-ZERO-RES or visit ZeroResMinnesota.com to schedule your appointment today.
Metaphysical means different things to different people, and Enchanted Boutique in Maplewood has classes and workshops for any skill level, whether you're a beginner or new to the metaphysical. Enchanted Boutique's friendly instructors bring positive energy and years of experience in all the metaphysical realms. Workshops include energy healing, various divination techniques, crystals, and much more. Plus, Enchanted Boutique has lots of products that can supplement what you learn at their newly expanded retail location in Maplewood. Find the class schedule and book your own session at enchantedboutiquemn.com. You know, you got to listen to that handsome voice that was just on talking about Enchanted Boutique. I don't know. I mean, it was almost like a hypnotic spell for me. Like I need to go over to Enchanted Boutique ASAP because that handsome voice told me to do so. But I'm going to add to that commercial real fast and just say that there's some new things going on over there. We've been talking about them, and you got to go there every day because there's something different going on. Remember, tomorrow, if you go on Monday, it's Make It Monday, it's Make and Take Projects, Tumbled Tuesday, Tumbled Crystal Sale, Woo Woo Wednesday, I love saying that, Patrick, Divination Sale, Trinket Thursday, that's a jewelry sale, Folk Magic Friday, that's the witchy sale. There's also Enchanted Saturday that you could go to their website, see how that's broken down, and then Self Love Sunday, Bath and Body Sale. So definitely go check them out, 1860 Beam Avenue, that's in Maplewood. But once again, as I always say, if you don't want to drive out there, you can check out their website, enchantedboutiquemn.com, or Enchanted Boutique MN on Facebook. You don't have to be in Minnesota either to buy some of the amazing stuff they have over there. And then Wednesday, November 2nd, join Char Savoy and myself for an evening of sharing ghost stories, UFO sightings, and Bigfoot encounters. It's another installment of Ghost Stories and Beyond, and this is all happening once again at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka, Minnesota. It's a great food, great atmosphere. On the last one in October, we talked about the Villisca Axe Murder House. We played a lot of evidence, but this month, it's all about your stories. So please check it out. Come out there to Billy's in Anoka. It's a $10 ticket price to join us. And then food is also extra, but the food is delicious. There's full bar service. There's full wait staff there that will come downstairs, which is where we're going to be, and help us out. And I think you're going to have a great time. So the next one is Wednesday, November 2nd, just after Halloween. So we expect some scary stories. And that's at 6:30 p.m. with Char Savoy and myself. Now, Patrick, I had an idea. Before we get back to Sister Kia, I had a quick idea for you. Oh, I took you off guard, didn't I? Okay. This is what I'm thinking, Patrick. We rename AM 950 to Patrick AM. All right. Now follow me here. I hear nothing but your voice on the station now.
Wow, we might have to take you up on that then.
I mean, I hope you're getting paid for this. I mean, I work in the business, so the royalties can be huge.
Oh, I am. Don't worry.
Yeah, it looks it, Patrick. So yeah, no, I mean, and the weather itself, probably you're getting, $1,000 a pop for every time you tell us it's 70 degrees out. So
I'm getting ready to retire next week. Don't tell Brett.
I'm sure he's not listening, so your secret is safe with us. So there we go. I had to get that out of my system. Thank you, Patrick. Patrick AM is what we're broadcasting on now. Our guest today, Sister Kia Lynn Francis, and we're talking about exorcisms. And as I mentioned before, folks, if you have any questions for Sister Kia, please go ahead, give us a call, 952-946-6205. You can also put a comment into one of the Facebook pages that we're on, and I got one here going to the MN Ghost Box page. This is Keith, and Sister Kia. Keith asks, because we're talking about how you are trapping these entities from outside in. What do you do with the entities once they get removed? What happens when they leave? What do you do with them?
They're cast out, right? So they're kind of sent to demon netherworld kind of thing. It's not like they stay in the home. Like what exactly happens? Well, I don't know. What happens when we die? What happens when this? Nobody truly knows. But they've been, in the Bible, they were sent into the bodies of swine, and the swine all jumped in the water and drowned themselves. But it's basically like a hell for demons, and that's where it's sent back to. We just don't want anything hiding. Like when I say we kind of work ourselves in. There was one case I know that Plato worked on before he was working with any empaths or clairvoyants or anything like that, and the dog, they thought the demon was gone, and the dog ratted them out, and the dog started barking, and it literally got thrown down the stairs. Like its feet didn't touch a stair, and it peed itself. And, so they knew, okay, it's still up there and it's still hiding. We have work to do. So just by the way we come in and kind of like attack and surround it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not give it a place to go. And I always do a walkthrough when we're finished to make sure I don't feel anything anymore. Just to be safe. But they're cast out into, like, as best we can describe it, as just like another world. And once that person has their free will back, then, good for them. But if they invite the demon back in, it's said that the demon will come back +7, and then they're really in trouble. And some people do miss the feeling of the demonic, and they do invite things back in, or they've had it in them for so long, they miss it. And once that's happened, it's kind of like you're kind of out of luck. If you've had an exorcism once and then you re-invite it back in voluntarily.
Because it has to be a matter of diminishing returns, having to do it multiple times if they're not picking up on it. I guess the question for me is why would they miss it? Do you know what they missed from that?
I'm sorry.
So like
Contact.
what do they miss? That they miss the fact that the demon has left them. They miss the demon there. What part of that do they miss?
Some people have said that they had psychic abilities when they were possessed. They had the different abilities, and they just liked the feeling of it because it made them feel powerful or what have you. Or, if they've lost say that they had the vision of like second sight, like clairvoyance, while they were possessed. It's not actually them that has it, but when the demon is expelled from them, then they lose the ability that the demon might have been providing through their body. And then that's something that people have said, I miss that feeling. So again, that's why I use the Reiki to put in high vibrational energy and try and fill that hole. And we encourage people to do good things and keep working with church and faith and not just stop because, we don't want them to be repossessed sort of thing. So we're not used cars.
No,
we're people. We want to keep it,
absolutely.
Keep it, yeah.
We are talking with Sister Kia Lynn Francis, and we're talking about exorcism today, and we're talking about all manners of questions about it. And once again, if you have any questions, feel free to call in 952-946-6205, or you can put a message in Facebook, which we're going back to Facebook now. We're going back to the MN Ghostbox page. And Jennifer had a question for you, Sister Kia. What is the protocol for deeming someone possessed?
There's a lot of different things. They'll have an aversion to holy objects or blessed objects. If you put I've had experience with this actually. I've had, my son had something jump into him when I became a sister. I fully believed this was a test and it was the devil trying to scare me out of becoming part of the Order of Exorcists and doing this, following this path. But I had two people, one good friend and my son, who had something jump inside them. And so they weren't fully possessed. Like, it's like if you're driving an Uber, if someone's driving an Uber and you pick up a passenger and then they jump out like 3 blocks later, that's kind of like what an oppression can be like. So it may not, it's like a short-term possession kind of thing. The demon doesn't have total control of your faculties or what have you, and it's easier to fight off. But it can start like that. And I literally had a friend that was hours away from me that was speaking in tongues on the phone. And, and then within a couple of days, my son had something in him. And I had to basically do an exorcism on him so like he had an aversion to prayer. He had an aversion to the holy oil and the water. I thought he was going to clobber me when I went to put oil on him. And I have a gentle giant for a child. Anything religious, like he said, it wasn't even his face. Like his face was contorted and he was sweating and all red. And he said, "It's laughing at you." Like, so there's a connection with what's in him and what's, going on. And, so obviously they're listening to the demons. The people's voices sometimes become very guttural. They're speaking in tongues. They have tremendous strength. They have knowledge of things that they should have no knowledge of sometimes. That's why you're never supposed to really engage with a demon. They'll needle you and bring up stuff from your life to try and upset you. So you don't kind of have a chat with
stuff that they don't know, right? Stuff they shouldn't necessarily know either, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah. That the person should have no clue about at all. So, an aversion to holy objects is a big one, but it can be as simple as holding a rosary and not being able to close their fingers around it, or when the rite's being performed, they actually get physically sick and vomit. There's lots of different signs of it. That's why we like people to get cleared medically, because it is stressful on the body. And the Archbishop is also a registered nurse. So that's a good thing. You kind of wear multiple hats to keep people safe. And as for the objects, there's one that they placed something on the side of her head, and it it grew like an egg. Like it was like, alien, like just something came up from her. And I know that when the day we were doing the exorcism and I was doing the medical history and taking vital signs and stuff, I checked the pupils, and the one pupil on the side where the head ballooned up from the holy object, it turned serpentine, and it got really big. And I was just like, oh, that's just so creepy. Like I felt it look at me, it wasn't, when you put a light to someone's eyes, they should be constricting, right? And the pupil should get small. This one got super huge, and it was creepy. It was just like, I felt it look at me, So there's lots of different, some people hear voices, some people don't. Some people experience this, like signs and symptoms of haunting, the sleep paralysis. The sleep paralysis I've experienced, but I can't relate it to the paranormal because it is a sleep disorder.
Yeah.
So, for some people, yes, it's paranormal, but for other people, no, it's not. It's a sleeping disorder. So there's a lot of different ways to tell. Like sometimes they won't take the Eucharist for sure. Body of Christ, they can't hold that in. No demon can hold that in. That they're clean when they can take the Eucharist and swallow it. But the intolerance to the usuals that you do see in movies, that is a true thing. And you'll see, and the guttural voices and the speaking in tongues and stuff, that really happens. Tony shows an old video of one of Lorraine and Mr. Warren's cases, and the gentleman was drooling through the exorcism, and as soon as his spittle hit the t-shirt, it turned to blood. When it was coming out of his mouth, it was clear. So there's lots of different things that you will see, and nothing's the same twice. So you kind of have to have your head on a swivel at all times, and different people
track.
will react and keep track. And like, for example, with my son, when I went to put the holy oil on him, and he cringed away from it, and then he was like, the demon's laughing at you. It thinks you're useless. And it was trying to get to me through him and upset me. But usually when they say the demon is laughing at you, you're actually hurting the demon.
You're starting to win, right? You're starting to win. Yeah.
Yeah. It's lying by saying, it's laughing at you. And I'm like, really? Does it think this is funny?
Yeah. Right. And here's some more.
And here's some more.
Why don't we do this? Let's take our last break. When we come back, we're going to finish our conversation with Sister Kia Lynn Francis. We're talking about exorcisms. You can still ask questions if you want for our last segment. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on Patrick AM.
Hi, my name is Pamela Topchian. I'm a former nurse, published author, and board-certified hypnotherapist with hypnobreakthrough.com. Do you feel stuck in a rut? Finding yourself wondering if this is all there is to life? Tired of just existing? Hypno Breakthrough can help you to reduce stress, release fears, gain confidence, and reach your life's goals holistically, mindfully, and gently. So I ask you, what changes would you like to see in your life? Let's talk about it. Contact me, Pamela Topchian, board-certified hypnotherapist, to schedule your free consultation, which includes a complimentary stress-reducing sample session, so you can see how it feels for yourself before any commitments are made. Go to hypnobreakthrough.com for all the information. That's hypnobreakthrough.com.
Hi, Matt McNeil for Rudy Luther Toyota. You know, I've purchased my vehicles with Rudy Luther because I love my Toyota Sienna, but it's the extra things that make me a loyal Rudy Luther customer. A great example, the Luther Advantage Card. With every new and used vehicle purchase, you'll get 3 years of 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Holiday Station stores and $6 off the Works car washes. Plus, there are other great benefits too. The Luther Advantage Card keeps you happy in your Rudy Luther vehicle. Find out more at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
We are living in a critical time for Indian country. Climate chaos threatens our land, water, and communities. Voting is one way we can protect our planet for future generations. Voting creates a collective power in the fight for our future. Have one-on-one conversations with your friends and family to make sure that they're making informed voting choices. Voting is our voice. This November, NADKI is asking us to stand together and make voting a tradition. Go to makevotingatradition.org to learn more and to make your pledge to vote.
Do yourself a favor and check out the amazing cuisine of eatlocalminnesota.com. More than just a website, eatlocalminnesota.com provides you with the best local and independently owned restaurants in the Twin Cities. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking cuisine, the Great Wall Chinese restaurant has been a local favorite since 1981. They offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include the sesame chicken, imperial beef, and Peking duck. The Great Wall restaurant is located off 45th and France, with takeout available too. More at greatwallrestaurant.us.
The next time you're out in South Minneapolis, make Nightingale off 26th and Lyndale your go-to dining option. It's a comfortable neighborhood restaurant that features a delicious menu of American classics, plus a wide drink and cocktail selection. Nightingale has dining room and bar seating available, plus takeout and delivery. Current hours are 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. daily with the full menu until midnight. More at nightingalempls.com.
And next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bach, and we're going to have on, it's the day before Halloween is our next episode. So we're going to have on voodoo priestess, author, celebrity psychic investigator. We've seen her on Ghost Adventures, occult expert, curator. We're going to have on Bloody Mary next week. And we're really looking forward to that. And it's going to be a great conversation. So make sure, well, I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to be recording that on Tuesday. So that's going to be around noon Central Standard Time. It's going to be, you'll be able to see it on Facebook on AM 950. So join us for that pre-record if you have any questions. Otherwise, listen to us when we broadcast the episode on October 30th. And that's going to be a really interesting program. For our final segment, we return to our guest today, Sister Kia Lynn Francis. We're talking about exorcisms. And, we mentioned if anyone had questions, feel free to put it into the chat on the pages or give us a call. We have another question from Renee, and she has asked, have you ever had a demon remember you from another exorcism?
Not from another exorcism, but I definitely, when my house was infested, I knew exactly what demon was coming at me at the time. Like I could feel it, and I used to use automatic writing. This is before I was a sister. And I could tell when one came in. So it was actually me being able to recognize the energy, like, oh, that's Mr. Nasty, or that's like, I had nicknames for certain ones that were particularly evil. But no, I haven't had anybody, but that can happen. Again, that's something that the person wouldn't know, but the demon might know, and they can use that as sort of an intimidation factor, if you will. But for myself personally, no, I have yet to have that happen. And which is not, it could happen the next one I do. You just never know. You never know.
Here's a question I've always been confused about, and I've heard it's a long story, so I won't get into it. But you had mentioned people talking in tongues. I've heard other people say that they pray in tongues. What is the deal with talking and praying in tongues? Is that okay? Is that not okay? I mean, that seemed to be a flag for you. So I guess I don't understand what its meaning is.
Okay. When I'm saying they're talking in tongues, like they could be speaking Latin.
Yeah.
They could be speaking Arabic. They could be speaking Aramaic. They could be speaking, pick a language, that a person would not know. And they're speaking in those languages, and they have no reason to do so. When people pray and they say that they pray in tongues, a lot of times people are praying very hard and they start to chant, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're speaking in a different language. Like I've listened to someone who claimed to speak in tongues, but they weren't saying anything. Do you know what I mean? It was just kind of like their own made up sound while they were praying, like kind of the same way as someone would for yoga is going home, that sort of thing. But when we say speaking in tongues, specifically like Latin or, one of those things, a language that they have never learned in school or never spoken at home. And, that really clears it up for me because I didn't know. And I had wondered what that was all about. I guess, it's just weird to as a terminology. It's an ancient terminology. I'm
certain, right? But I didn't understand what it meant. So that helped me greatly. Renee also had a question. She said, with the new movie Pray for the Devil That Us Out, what is your take on women being the lead with exorcisms?
I haven't seen the preview of the movie.
Me either, to be honest. So there's
I don't know. But women in exorcisms?
Well, being the lead with exorcisms.
You know what? Nuns can do exorcisms. They just do it a lot differently than the priests do. But these, like, I'm not a nun. I look like a nun when I'm dressed up, but I'm a sister. It's different vows. Sisters are typically cloistered, and they take different vows than I take. You know, say they take the vow of poverty, vow of celibacy, sometimes the vow of silence, what have you. But yeah, I mean, I'm an auxiliary exorcist, so my role is I do there's like a lot of callback. Like, Father will read something and then I will say something back, and Father will read something and I will say something back. And he trusts me that, God forbid something happened to him, that I can pick up and continue from where he was, and let him, you know, gather himself and compose himself. And luckily it hasn't happened, but that typically women are in that role. We're auxiliary or assistant exorcist.
Sure.
And we're not an exorcist proper, you know. But when you're stuck, don't get me wrong. Like, when that thing was in my kid, I darn sure gave him the Eucharist and read the prayer. I wasn't going to let it stay, and it left.
I would assume that I would assume that demons wouldn't see sex per se, like the sexes of different people. I mean, wouldn't that be more of a human thing anyway?
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be different demons, right? Like incubus and succubus.
Yeah.
They're supposed to go after male or female specifically. But no, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I just think that that's how the religion has always been, you know, and that's how it started. But I know myself, like, I'm not afraid of demons. Like, I think I was it was part of my path, especially what happened in my house, to kind of, if I didn't run from my own house screaming, you know, it was boot camp for what I'm doing now. So we work very closely together, but he's still the exorcist. Like, that's not my title, although I am a member of the Order of Exorcists, as many sisters are. So when is your book going to be done, do you think? I mean, my book, it's the bane of my existence right now. I was really, really, really sick the last couple of years, and I didn't really say anything. I just kind of dropped off the face of the earth for a while, and I spent 5 months in hospital, and I got discharged the end of August. So I went in the beginning of May and didn't come out, and I almost died. I don't remember. I was in a coma for like a good week or so, and then I got neuropathy in my legs, and I had to learn to walk again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's okay. I always joke that God doesn't want me right now and the devil's afraid of me, so I'm all good, you know. So I've had several near-death experiences. So I haven't been working on my book recently. Once I get back into it, it shouldn't take me too much longer to finish. Awesome. It's just a matter of sitting down with it and going, because I'm telling my story from my perspective, and I write the way I speak. It's like having a conversation with
I'm gonna cut you off because we're gonna wrap her up. Sister Kia, thank you so very much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. We just barely scratched the surface.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We'll be back next week with Bloody Mary.
This is New Beginnings, hosted by award-winning broadcaster and speaker Freddie Bell.
Freddie, this generation of the baby boomers, people are